lead off with a question from Rick Stroud.
Hey, Bruce. I know last night we didn't know anything, but have you gotten any word on Sean Murphy bunting, MRI, or anything like that? And it sounded like you don't expect him to be lost for the season anyway.
Yeah, I'm waiting, hopefully for some good news, but we don't have it yet. The X-rays came back negative at the stadium, but he did dislocate it. But we've just got to wait and see now, and really have nothing to report time-wise yet. We got our fingers crossed.
Your secondary, I mean, you had guys. We talked about Andrew Adams, and he may have made the biggest play of the day, on the tackle on Zeke down there at the goal line. But you are thin at there, and I thought they sort of had a game plan not dissimilar than the Rams a couple years ago, where they tested your perimeter, made those guys come up and tackle. Is you expect to see more of that in what is a copycat league?
No, there's no doubt, Rick. No doubt, brother. You got to put the fires out each week, and they had a nice plan. But it's still, the game comes down to situational football,
right? And
we won situational football. So, but yeah, we'll see the same things. They had a nice plan defensively too, but I think we're a bit further along, maybe offensively now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to see screens. Throw it out there and see if you can make the tackle.
Thanks.
We'll go over to Greg Allman.
Just want to ask you, with the 10 days till the next game, if you knew what your reasonable chances were to get Jordan Whitehead back for week 2.
He's looking really, really good. It's probably about 90% right now. Hopefully we can get him back with these 3 more days and have him practicing next week.
If you had him back, Bruce, would that give you flexibility to consider using Mike Edwards at all at nickel, or is that not part of the plan?
Yeah, it gives us great flexibility. Antoine's played it, and Mike's played it, so it gives us real good flexibility to interchange those guys a little bit more, and still have Ross on the field too. So yeah, it gives us a lot more flexibility. We were thin real fast last night.
Thanks, Bruce.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, I know we asked you about Ryan Suckup last night, but considering the previous week that he had with the personal challenges he was dealing with, and then to go march into that dreaded south end zone where, so many kickers have struggled, what can you say about his performance?
No, he's a solid pro. I mean, he had a great year last year and came in, and it took a little while to get it going, but we got all the confidence in the world. And, I don't believe in jinxes, and I don't think he does either. So he's never really struggled at that end at all.
And as far as your running backs, how would you assess their performance last night, particularly in the passing game?
Very average, and we dropped a screen pass for an interception. And, we don't like to throw to backs if we don't have to. They're check down people. I mean, we don't bring backs in here to throw them 100 passes. We got enough guys outside to throw 100 passes to.
True. Thank you.
We'll go to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, we saw Jason Light in the personnel department come up big last year with some in-season additions like Fournette, Cockrell, McClendon, AB. Andrew Adams, no stranger to you guys, but can you speak about the personnel department getting a veteran like him to come back and how clutch that was for you last night with this play?
Oh, it was huge. We had our eye on him the whole time to see if, what he was going to happen. They had a great list of about 5 guys, and, Double A, he knows the system. He could jump right back in, and he stepped up and played real good for us last night.
Also, Rojo had 4 carries and then fumbled, and we saw what happened the rest of the night with him. Fournette had a catchable pass, bounce off his hands, got picked off, yet he finished the game with 14 touches. Is this a sign that you might trust Lenny more right now in certain situations?
No, I mean, Rowe was running really, really well till the fumble. Then he struggled mentally to get over it. And that was too big of a game to go out there and not be totally focused. So Lenny got the rest of the way.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, we'll go over to John Ledger.
Bruce, just curious, looking back at the game, would you have thought that maybe there were more opportunities to get Giovanni Bernard on the field in this one, or was he not fully healthy? What was the story there with him?
No, he's our 3rd down back and 2-minute back. No, not at all.
Cameron Brate playing over OJ Howard as much as he did, 18 snaps to 6, I think. Is that a sign OJ might not be all the way back, or do you just trust Cam more at this point?
Cam's got a role, and it's all in the passing game predominantly. And, OJ played really well those snaps he played.
All right, we'll go back to Rick Stroud.
Hey, Bruce, you invested a lot of time and picks into your special teams, and can you speak to how Bradley Pinion was able to flip field position all night, and just kind of, what a big factor that was for your game?
It was huge. Our special teams won the ball game. There's no doubt, between Bradley pinning him inside the 10 3 times, and guys, Mick covering, but Mick had a hell of a night in return game. It's a shame we had the penalty on the punt return, but I think all those young guys, Grant had a tackle. They protected well. They showed up. They showed up exactly in the ways we want them to. But our kickers kicked well, and our returners were really, really good. But they had really good blocking too.
I know we talked a little bit about this last night with Gronkowski and the 2 touchdowns he had. But, communication is key, right? Those guys have been doing this a long time. But Tom sees cover 0, checks to him. Gronk on the other one's able to sit down in the right. So I think, does it get overlooked how smart of a football player he has become over the years? I know we see the goofy, big brawny guy. But the reality is he really knows the game.
He really does. And he works his tail off at it. I mean, he's here early. He stays late. He doesn't leave anything unturned in his preparation. He's meticulous, just like Tom. And I think that's why he's one of Tom's favorite players.
All right, we'll go back to Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I just want to ask you about 2 endgame situations last night, and not to question you, just usually you're able to really explain some of the logic in decisions you make. You had that chance to either take a holding penalty and pull back 10 yards or decline it and take what would have been like a 48-yard field goal. I want to ask you about that, and also the decision to use the timeout instead of taking the runoff with 10 seconds left, and just how much thought went into those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to get him. He can kick it from 60. So we wanted to push him back as far as we could. The timeout, where we were on the field, we needed the time. We needed the time on the clock more than that timeout. And we could always kill it. We could always throw it out, get out of bounds, those type of things to stop the clock, and did a great job with it. But those 10 seconds were precious then.
Thanks, Bruce.
We'll go over to Scott Reynolds. We have time for a few more.
First, the Cowboys kept a back and or a tight end in on pass protection quite a bit to help stymie your blitzes and pass rush. What did you learn from your efforts in trying to get after Dak Prescott last night when you watched the film?
Yeah, we had a lot of free guys. He did a good job of getting the ball out on free blitzers and completing them. But, that's something we've always seen. If they're going to put it down the field, they didn't throw it down the field that much. Mostly it was all spread out stuff. But, Zeke did a hell of a job blocking linebackers. He's always been a hell of a pass protector in college. So he won that battle inside. I thought we had good pressure a number of times, and he just got the ball out.
Thank you, Bruce.
We'll go to Jen Lane.
Hey, Coach, overall, I'm curious, what do you feel you learned about your defense in watching last night?
We still play great red zone defense. And, when you play in that first one, people have a long time to prepare for you. We adjust extremely well. And, I think the depth helped with those injuries that happened during the game. And, we'll see all those little short passes. And then again, we got to do a better job tackling.
Thank you.
We'll go to Evan Winter, and then we'll have time for one more.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Vita Vea looked great last night. Just wanted to get your thoughts on exactly what he helps y'all do on defense, specifically in terms of how you attack your opponents.
Well, obviously, everybody thinks of him as a run stuffer, but he's a hell of a pass rusher. And he got to one holding. It should have been back-to-back holding penalties. He crushed that guard both times, and they called the first one, but they wouldn't call it 2 in a row. But, he had a hell of a night.
All right, we'll close out with a question from Leo Haggerty.
Coach, what made you make the change with Mickens, or what didn't you see in Darwin to make that move so late in the week in your return game?
Yeah, Jaden's done a heck of a job, but I'm not going to let him fail as a rookie. He's got such a great future. We wanted as much veteran presence on that field as we possibly could, knowing the situation and the intensity of the game. So Mick's been there and done it, and there's not anything against Jalen. It's just more of a guy that's been there and done it.
Okay, that's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thanks, guys.